Hey, in this video we're going to talk about the moon phase. Now the moon doesn't give off light by itself. The moon is, the only light we see from the moon is the light that is coming from the sun. So in this video we have the moon facing in that direction toward the sun. So whenever the moon phase starts, we have a new moon, and it's going to take about a week after that for us to get to a half moon. Now keep in mind where the video camera is representing the Earth. So in that first week, as the moon rotates around, you can start to see a crescent moon there. And after the full week is over, we can see one half of the moon. Now it's called a half moon. The whole moon is still there. Nothing really happened to the moon. It's just that only half of it is facing that direction toward the sun, and that's the half that we see. So in the next week, it's called the gibbous moon. And as that next week goes along, you can see more and more of the moon, because the moon that you see is facing the sun. Now right here, after 2 weeks, you have the full moon. The full moon is completely facing that direction where the sun is lighting it up. And the next little part of this is going to continue to be gibbous moon, but it's, instead of waxing, it is called waning. It's waning when you get less and less. It's waxing when you get more and more. So what we have here, as that third week goes on, the part that's facing the sun continues to face it, and the part that's not facing it will appear to be not there. So here on this shot we have after the third week, which is a half moon, but it's going to be waning instead of waxing. So by the fourth week, you're going to see less and less. It's going to be crescent instead of gibbous. A crescent moon means there's not that much left of it. And after the full 4-week cycle, you're going to have the new moon again. It's completely facing the sun. We'll do it again. New moon, crescent in that first week. After the first week, half moon, and it's going to start gibbous. See more and more of it. It's all waning. It's all waxing on this side. It's waxing when it appears to get bigger. And here we have a full moon after 2 weeks. Now it's going to start waning. You'll see less and less of it. It will follow along this way. And this is still a crescent moon here. I'm sorry. This is still a gibbous moon here. It won't be crescent till it meets that third week. You're going to see it right here at 3 weeks, and it's going to be a half moon. And now it'll start getting crescent, where you have just a little bit of the moon shining. And keep in mind, it's always facing toward the sun, so that's why we only see a little bit of it. And there finally you are, back at the new moon again. Hey, it's another video from Mr. Mitchell. Today we're going to be talking about lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. Let's look on this board and first do the lunar eclipse. Okay, we've got the lunar eclipse right here. This is going to be the sun, this is the Earth, and of course this is the moon. Now the moon is going to be rotating around the Earth once every 28 days. And sometimes it ends up to where it happens to be right in the shadow that the Earth casts. Now you have the sun here, which of course is beaming out light toward the Earth and toward everything in the solar system. And if the moon happens to be here, it's kind of in the shadow. Now where we are on Earth, it would have to be nighttime. If it were daytime, we would be looking toward the sun, but it'd have to be on the rotation where we are at night. So we would be looking toward the moon, and normally it would be a full moon when you have a lunar eclipse, because it is also facing the sun. Now this shadow area right here is what's called an umbra. That's going to be the deepest, darkest of the shadows that's coming from the sun to the Earth. Now what's going to happen, there's also going to be a shadow level out here. Now what happens is you have all areas of the sun that are giving light this direction. So this is not going to be as dark a shadow, and sometimes you have an eclipse where the moon is kind of just partially seen. And it might be up here, some of it might be in the umbra, but some of it will be in this area, which is called the penumbra. So I think I looked up online, and our next lunar eclipse is supposed to be something like when you guys are in 8th grade. So in a couple of years, you should be able to see a lunar eclipse. That's an eclipse of the moon. Now let's take a look at the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse will be down here. Now here we have kind of a different situation. We have the moon, which is on this side. Now of course the sun is always going to be putting out light, but in this case the earth is in the shadow of the moon. Now what's going to happen, instead of being a full moon up here like it is at a lunar eclipse, we're going to have a new moon. And in a new moon, you can't see the moon. You're looking at the dark side of the moon. So what happens is you're going to have this shadow, which is going to be right along here. Now, of course, that's going to be the umbra. And you will also have kind of a bigger area of shadow, which is not going to be as dark. The dark area in the middle is going to be the umbra, and the lighter area is going to be the penumbra. And notice it doesn't cover all the earth. When you have some kind of solar eclipse, it only covers a portion of the earth, and that makes it a lot more rare for us to actually see a solar eclipse. There are solar eclipses, but it might be near the South Pole, it might be near the North Pole, it might be just in specific areas of the earth. I looked online, and the next solar eclipse that we can see in the Americas is going to be when you guys are juniors in high school. This one. Okay, look at this moon phase. You can see we can just barely see part of the moon here. Most of it appears not to be there, though we know it really is. But what moon phase are we in? It's a text from my son. Let's see what he says is the answer. Waxing crescent moon. Waxing means that it is going toward a full moon. And crescent, yes, he is correct. This is crescent, and it is going toward a full moon. Good job. Look at this moon phase. Here we have half the moon that appears to be here, and the other half appears not to be here. And notice the half that appears to be here is on this side. So, what moon phase are we in? Let's see what my son says. He says it is first quarter moon. That's exactly right. First quarter moon, you can tell that it is indeed waxing. It's becoming a full moon. Good job. Okay, here's another moon phase. You can see with this phase we have a portion of the moon which is just doesn't appear to be visible. You can tell that it is an emerging moon. It has not hit to be full moon status yet. What do you think it is? What moon phase? Oh, I'm getting a text. It's from my son Alex. Let's see if he knows what moon phase this is. Gibbous waxing. Yes, it is definitely waxing because we don't have the full moon yet, and it is gibbous because it is over half a moon. Good job. What moon phase does the cookie you can see completely represent? Oh, I'm getting a text. It's from my son Alex. Let's see what he thinks it is. Full moon, he is correct. What if we try another moon phase? Okay, let's try this moon phase. You can see the moon is not completely round. We have a section of the moon here which you cannot see. So, what moon phase is this? Something tells me I might get a text during this. I am. Let's see what my son Alex thinks. Gibbous waning moon. Yes, it is a gibbous waning moon. Very good. Okay, the cookie looks like it is exactly halfway eaten. What do you think? Oh, let's see what my son Alex says. He says it is a third quarter moon. Oh, he's exactly right. You can tell it's because it is this side which does not appear to have any moon at all at it. Okay, What about this moon phase? You can see we just barely see some of this moon. What kind of moon phase do you think this is? Oh, let's see what my son Alex says it is. He said it is a waning crescent moon. Waning crescent moon. I do believe it is a waning crescent moon. You see, when you have just a little sliver of moon, it's going to be crescent, and is definitely not waxing. We are definitely going back toward having no moon at all, or a new moon. Okay, what kind of moon phase is this? You do not appear to see any moves, except we see some crumbs. Do not appear to see any moon. What kind of moon phase is this? See what my son Alex says. He says this is a new moon. Now, he's exactly right. We cannot see the moon. The moon is facing the sun the same direction as we're facing the sun. So as a result, the only thing we would see is the dark side of the moon, or the opposite side.
On camera. Oh, wait, there's another text.
Oh, wait. There's another text. The moon tastes good. Figured it would.